Hello friends, welcome to this very soothing yin yoga practice. This is designed to help slow your mind down so you could have a good night's sleep. These are some of my go-to moves when I just can't settle down and I'm up in the middle of the night just trying to breathe through all the troubles going on in the world, in my head, everything that I'm focused on that I'm trying to release throughout the day. So we're going to start here in a reclined butterfly position. So if you have a bolster, wonderful. If you have blocks, you'll see I'm using them to kind of angle my bolster here. If you don't have these things, that is okay. You could also just recline onto blocks if that's all you have, and you could recline all the way onto the floor. You could recline onto pillows, whatever works. So I'm just going to take my sacrum here and place it right at the edge of my bolster and lay my body down on it. The soles of my feet are going to stay together, and I'm just going to bow my legs out to the side. My arms are going to go out. I'm going to soften through my gaze. I'm just going to start to arrive here on the mat in my practice. Just starting to let any worries, any to-do lists, any tension that I've been holding just melt right off of my shoulders, down into the mat, just releasing what I can actively release here. Starting to let my jaw feel nice and loose, releasing tension from behind my eyes. And guiding the attention to the tip of my nose as I start to feel that nice cool air travel in and the warmer air fall out. Beginning to make any observations, just how I'm feeling, the body that I showed up in today. And letting my breath be my guide, letting it show me where I'm holding that tension in my body, maybe helping me to recognize places that I'm denying my breath, that feel maybe stuck or stagnant, maybe a little rigid. And trying not to place judgment on any of those things, just more of a noticing, an awareness. And then equally, I'm going to start bringing my attention to those places in my body that feel really good, really open and receptive, places that are receiving my breath with ease and joy. Noticing where my breath is naturally wanting to travel. Is it going into my chest and my heart? Can I feel it widen through my rib cage? Can I feel the gentle expansion and contraction of my abdomen and belly area? Not making really any effort to change your breath, but just by noticing our breath, we may feel it get a little deeper into the body, a little more full. Noticing it begin to smooth out along the edges. And as you begin to notice the cadence of your breath, you can notice that beautiful pause that takes place at the top of the inhale. And again at the bottom of the exhale. Noticing how your breath naturally takes you deeper into your body, deeper into self. Just being open to the idea that every exhale is just an opportunity to release a little more tension, a little more stress. And every inhale is an opportunity to find expansion and room within you, really working on creating more space within your body, helping you to move with more ease and fluidity. And just take a couple more breaths here, just delighting in the ease of this pose, and making those observations about body and breath, and maybe where your mind is at as well. And as we get ready to transition out of this pose, I like to use our breath as guidance, just preparing us to move. So let's take 3 final deep breaths together. We'll do it in and out through the nose, starting by inhaling in, creating that space, and exhale, releasing tension. Inhale, creating room, expanding from within. And exhale, just melting deeper into the pose. Final time, nice full inhale. And exhale. And you could use your hands down by your legs to help guide your knees back to center. And then we're just going to roll over onto our left side. So dropping both legs and just letting our body start to fall off. We're going to come into deer. So we're going to stay pretty much where we are. You have choices here. You can choose to keep your bolster at this angle if you'd like. What I'm going to do is remove my blocks off to the side and just let my bolster, or if you have a pillow, lay flat. I'm going to take my left thigh and I'm going to lay it right up against, so it's even with my hip moving down towards my knee. And then that left shin is going to be even to the front of my mat. And then I'm going to take my right leg and I'm going to make a pinwheel effect. So that leg is going to be even to the side of my mat. So if I look down, I'm seeing 2 angles of a pinwheel. You could adjust a little bit if you want to bring your ankles in a little bit if that feels better for your body. So you can play with this a little bit. We're going to take our right hand and we're just going to lay it to the far side of our pillow. Our right hand, we're going to swish all the way around us so our hands are straddling our pillow. And I want you to notice here what's happening in this right hip. Just make some observations about what's going on there. You might want to stay here. This could be enough for you. It feels really good. Or you can start to lower your torso down, inviting either the left ear or, to twist even further, the right ear down onto the mat, starting to release your arms off to the side. And you'll know right away if this is too much. And if this is too much, then maybe you come back up, you come to straight arms, or maybe you go again back at that angle. And start to melt in here, noticing where in your body you're feeling this. Again, letting every inhale create space within your body. And every exhale, an opportunity to release, melt. Really letting gravity be your friend here. And in Yin, we get more benefit the longer we hold a pose. So I encourage you to not go to your full expression, maybe back off a little bit where you're still feeling something, and then allow your body to open from there so you can stay still in the pose for a longer amount of time. And we're going to breathe here for a couple minutes. Again, just observing where in your body you're naturally pushing your breath. Do you notice the expansion of your rib cage, of your diaphragm? And just noticing where you feel that sensation. Breathe right into it. And we'll go ahead and start our 3 final breaths here. Just recognizing, acknowledging to our body that we're getting ready for change. So noticing where the deepest sensation, the tender spot, wherever you're feeling it. Let's go ahead and offer it a nice deep inhale. And exhale. 2 more like it. Inhale. Exhale. Final time, deep inhale. And releasing, exhale. Go ahead and start guiding your body back up, straight arms. We're going to take that right hand and we're going to swish it all the way over our body. Our knees are going to come up and we're just going to work right into some windshield wipers with our legs. Just dropping your knees from one side to the other. Before we roll off to the other side, we're going to move into a forward fold caterpillar. So we'll move our support off to the side. Because this is a very passive class we're doing, you might want to put that bolster right under your knees. I have a pretty big bolster, so this brings my knees up pretty far, more than I typically like. Another way you can do it is by putting blocks under your knees, but this is just going to help you really release through your low back and help you if you have tight hamstrings. It's going to help you to fold a little further into the expression. So if you want that, go ahead and do that. I might do this one. We'll inhale our arms high. And as we exhale, we'll fold forward, letting your hands drop down by your side and then releasing your shoulders away from the ear. Continue to release your head down. Maybe your head makes contact with your knees. Maybe you separate your legs a little and place a block in between them to rest your head on. Really releasing the weight of your head can feel really nice. It's a lot of weight that our neck is carrying around day after day. It feels really good to just release it. And I always encourage people in yin to remember that we want to be loose here in this forward fold. We don't want to overstretch, over push. This is yin, so we're getting into that deep fascial tissue of the body. And it only really will begin to release and work into the pose when we are not utilizing our muscles. So the less you can do here, the better. I like to have my hands palm face up just to prevent me from wanting to grab or reach for my toes, which makes it more of a yang style practice. It's not really what we're going for today. And we look for stillness, of course. If it's too much, you use support to help the ground to meet you. And if it's not enough, you could always adjust your support, helping it be more accessible for your body as you open up through time. And once you're settled into that spot, travel back to your breath. And we'll start in with our 3 final breaths here, starting with a nice soothing inhale and releasing exhale. Inhale, exhale. Final time, deep inhale. And exhale. And you can start to bring your hands by your hips and push into the mat as we slowly begin the journey up our spine, all the way to a straight spine. And then we're going to come into deer on the other side. So however you want to set up here, you can start by having your bolster on a little bit of an angle. Some people would prefer to do this without a bolster at all and come laying all the way flat to the floor. I tend to get a better stretch through my outer hip and IT band if I am up on an angle, so it really is playing with it. It's okay to do something a little different. Listen to your own body. It's always important. We as instructors are just here to guide you. You find your own voice within it. So it'll be my right hip, even with this bolster, going towards the knee, even to the front of the mat. Pinwheel my legs. I see this left leg now even to the side of my mat. Lean into my right hand. Swish that left hand all the way over. Taking a moment here, noticing what's happening in my hips, noticing this twist in my back. I might stay for a few breaths here with straight arms. And as you're ready, you can lower your torso down. Relaxing through your arms, noticing how this feels. And for a deeper stretch, you might switch to your left ear on the mat. And we'll begin our 3 final breaths here. Inhaling to create that beautiful space within your body. And exhaling to melt into it. Inhaling and exhaling. Final time, deep inhale and exhale. We'll slowly use our hands, pressing the floor away. This time it'll be your left hand circles across the body as your knees come up and work into those. Windshield wiper move, just moving through the body after that stillness, stretching it out. And we've done side stretches, forward fold. So now let's open through our heart, coming into a Sphinx pose. So you can move again, the bolsters off to the side. You might want to keep a block handy for this one. We're going to come onto our belly and just let your pelvic bone start to press into the mat. Your feet will be somewhere between hip and mat width distance apart. Pressing through your hands and your forearms. You could have your elbow in line with your shoulder, or for a little less, you could come forward. You could even take your bolster and wedge it in between your chest and lounge onto that, since we're doing a very passive class today. So find that place, and then I like to take a block. Bring it in front of me and really, again, release the weight of my head, letting my shoulders drop down. And starting to breathe into my backside body. Just a very passive back bend. Stretching our back in a way that we don't normally work it throughout the day. So this can get very tender. And if this isn't working for you, it's okay to just come laying on your belly. Maybe you widen your elbows out to the side, stack your palms one on top of each other, and you could rest your forehead on that. That might be enough. And you can play with the size of this block maybe after some time. Feels better to lower it down. Find what works for you. Let's take a nice inhale here. And as we exhale, we'll go ahead and remove that support. And if you haven't yet, we'll widen through our elbows, stacking your palms and resting your head down on, releasing onto your back. Let's take a couple of breaths here into our backside body. We'll start by taking a nice deep inhale into our low back. And exhale. And a nice deep inhale into your mid back. And exhale. One final breath right into the backside of your heart. And exhale. And slowly begin to bring ourselves on to our back. So you could either flip over, turn yourself around, whatever you need to do here. Moving your support out of the way. And we'll come all the way onto our backs. Just for a moment, let your legs go long, roll your shoulders under and down. Just observing how you feel. And start to bend the knees. You could hug them into your chest, maybe wrapping your arms around. You're going to let your arms go off to the side. We're going to exhale both of our knees down to the left. And do a couple of deep breaths here. And then we'll begin the journey back through our center line. And we're just going to let those legs continue to go. Fall all the way to the right. It doesn't matter which way your head is. It can be straight up, to the left, to the right, whatever feels best for your neck. Just a couple deep breaths here. We'll begin the journey back through our center line. Then I offer you an opportunity to do any final movement that's feeling supportive for your body. Anything that feels good. It might feel good to just roll your hips around in one direction, the other direction. If it feels good to reach for the soles of your feet, come into a passive happy baby, you can do that. Anything that feels good. And then we're going to set up, as you're ready, for your final Shavasana. And at the end of a yin class, I recommend taking some blocks, a pillow, a bolster, and placing it under your knees. It just helps release more through your low back. Roll those shoulders under. Let your arms be long. You can let your legs be long. Your neck is long. And just start to really sink into this master pose, this final pose, Shavasana. And I'm going to close our practice here in Shavasana because this is a soothing nighttime practice. I hope that it has brought some ease to your mind, helping you to feel a little bit more relaxed, ready to hop into bed and fall asleep. I encourage you to lay here and continue to breathe deep into your belly for as long as feels good for you. It is truly my pleasure to show up here for you tonight. My name is Mary. I'm with Breath Mindset. Breathe well.